Just like Web 2.0, the telecom industry is seeing a similar era arrive. The Telecom 1.0 era featured monopoly and closeness. The vertical chain, with operators at their core, could only provide voice service and simple data service. The Telecom 2.0 era fundamentally subverts the traditional concepts and models, focusing on a customer-centered and content-centered approach. The telecom industry will experience a period of transition in network, terminal, and service over the next decade.
In order to address these multiple facets of Telecom 2.0, we have with us our next speaker, Mr. Hemant Sharma, co-founder and president, Antarix Networks, who would be discussing the topic, Exploring Opportunities in Telecom 2.0. Sir, may we please have you on stage?
Mr. Hemant is a telecom engineer from BITS Pilani and an MBA executive from ISB Hyderabad. He is a serial entrepreneur and started a company called Infinity with classmates in 1999 at the age of 23. It was recognized as a Deloitte 50 company for 4 years in a row, selling to Mercury high-tech customers such as Nokia, Singtel, and AT&T. He then sold the company in 2007 to Infosys and Onmobile. Sir also runs Telnet Ventures, an early-stage co-founders fund. And currently, he is the co-founder and president of Antarix Networks, a Telecom 2.0 startup. We welcome you, sir, to Communique09. I now request you, sir, to preside over the session.
Check. Can you hear me? That's good. Thanks. All right. Hello, everyone. Nice to be here. See, in the sessions before this, we talked about recession and stuff like that, right? So I'll also, I know that the organizer said that we are probably running late for the day by about 20-25 minutes. So with a shorter session, maybe I'll try to set the clock back to routine. But okay, see, innovation is everywhere, right? You can innovate related to revenue assurance. You can innovate related to your cost, etc. Right? This particular topic that I'm going to talk about is more blue sky innovation, which could at times end up changing the whole paradigm of what we know the industry as. For example, last time something like that happened was with internet itself, right? It wasn't the whole thing of internet, especially World Wide Web, wasn't developed for or to address a specific recession or a industry issue or something like that. But once it came through with the user and applications and the whole stuff happening there, it ended up changing a bunch of industries, right? So similarly, in that sense, we talked about a particular direction in which the telecom industry could go in the near future. So this is more like blue sky thinking. However, I've tried to keep it near term and not talking about typical scenarios like, you'll have your refrigerator call up your department store and do. We've all heard a lot about such stuff. Maybe it's scary, you don't want your middle of the night the refrigerator to be calling up department stores, right? So I won't take those things. However, I'll talk about a particular direction in which a certain level of innovation could come from. And to top it, once I say that this is by merging these two clouds, if some innovation can come in, I'll also talk about 2-3 specific, maybe 4-5 specific example of services which could lead to useful consumer experiences, revenue opportunities, etc. Right? Okay, so we're talking Telecom 2.0. There's no such term, right? It doesn't mean shit really, like Web 2.0. It doesn't mean, but however it changes, when like Web 2.0, the whole premise pre that, was people would recognize HTML or HTTP and web pages. Those were the terminologies, right? So the Web 2.0 thing moved internet or World Wide Web from web pages to services, right? Similarly, you can extend the whole reach of telecom by, again, one of the topics that came up during the last discussion was related to, say, your ARPUs and your average talk time, at whichever way you look at it, different countries, the total number of minutes that a subscriber is going to speak for in a month, somewhere saturates around 500, give or take 100 minutes here or there, right? So, and there's no possible way of increasing that. And with the cost per minute going down, the ARPU can only go in one direction. However, you can increase the base, even in advanced markets where there are already penetrations beyond 100%, you can still increase the overall consumption of the service by extending this telecom services to, means or, start points which are beyond the current ones. For example, today you need to consume telecom, you need to buy a SIM card or have a connection, pick up the phone and do that. However, there are instances, if you can extend it to machines, if machines can start using it, or for example, in scenarios where you don't need to have a phone to communicate, right? You could be communicating over IM or internet or email or various things, or you are shopping, let's say, you're out in a mall buying a book and things like that. If at that stage, maybe the device could take any form factor. For example, you could have a device that just connected right to the rack where all the books are kept. You just flash the book there and it can use the telecom infrastructure and show you that the Amazon rating for this book is so and so, right? Helping you make a decision, purchase decision, etc. So we'll talk about some of those ways in which we can get there, right? So this is a traditional telecom network. That's one of the clouds to consider where innovation can come in. Typically, signified by switching, SS7, the various things which a telecom network lets you do. People like Huawei and different people addressing the space, right? The other space is a mobile device space. A lot of innovation has happened. Practically, if you look at a phone from 10 years back, it's unrecognizable to what you have now, let's say with an Android or an iPhone that you have. So the phones are getting smarter by the day. Everybody knows about that. You have more than a phone. It's getting to be an integrated device which will have, it certainly has a camera and a music player and stuff already. Tomorrow it could have other things. It could have intelligent sensors. It could have various other things which could provide certain things, right? And the third cloud, which is, these are the three dominant technology clouds which are influencing the whole speed of innovation, right, is the internet cloud. Practically, everybody that you know of will be on one of the networks like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. So it's moving, so at least, gradually as we move, at least at the top of the pyramid in places like emerging markets like India and the rest of the world, practically everybody, large percentage population are, there. So internet is where users are, internet is where services are being delivered, be that ticketing or your stock trading or stuff like that, right? So the traditional merge, in the mobile telecom space, that's what we call the traditional telecom network and mobile devices merge, leading to conventional services. These are the services of late 90s, right? Leading to P2P SMS and SMS short codes, voicemails, blah, 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 right? You could do all of this in the traditional mobile telecom space. Then you have a phenomenon of last 4-5 years is the mobile internet space, which is because the users and services are already on the internet. Mobile internet enables you to take this and walk, right? So you could put the internet in your pocket because you have smart devices. The networks are getting smarter, at least they're getting